Hey, this is Troy from Planet 76. We've got some really good Sixers-focused content coming your way today. Make sure you subscribe to the pod so you can be in the know when we release new content. Enjoy the show.
Welcome, everyone. Planet 76 has returned. Troy and I had our little summer hiatus, and we were just talking. This offseason has been abnormally slow, not just for the Sixers, obviously, specifically the Sixers because we're a Sixers podcast, but just in general, it's been really slow, so we haven't had a ton to record about, but we have a very, very fun episode this week, something neither of us have never done before on the podcast, so we're excited about it. And, make sure you guys subscribe to the podcast. YouTube, you know the drill. We are on every platform possible. So make sure you subscribe. And, let us know your thoughts once you finish the episode. So, Troy, any general thoughts before we begin? I know the outline. Troy always makes an outline every week. It's always great. And we have, just a couple things to go over before we get into our main topic,
right.
Which, again, I'm very excited about. So, Troy, take it away. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, certainly a quiet stretch of the offseason in Sixers land and on Planet 76. This is our 102nd episode, which is incredible. But here on August 7th, we can report that James Harden still is a 76er.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I know, right? We'll take a brief look at the current Sixers roster. Just give our thoughts there. Maybe our thoughts on Nick Nurse and what he can do with said roster. And the biggest, it's crazy when the biggest news over the last 3 weeks is Montrezl Harrell. But I don't want to say it like that. Yeah, but thoughts go out to Montrezl Harrell, who did tear his ACL and meniscus. Going to be sidelined for the year. The report, not that I was even thinking that they were going to part ways with him, but the reports are that he is going to stay on the roster. He was certainly going to be a guy trying to fight for some minutes, but hopefully, he's only. I didn't even realize he's only 29, I think. And certainly an NBA player. It just hasn't really worked out to what we thought it would be for the Sixers yet, but he did re-sign with the team, and so hopefully a speedy recovery for him, and we'll see what happens there. But as Michael said, our main segment we're going to get to in, 5-6 minutes is going to be us drafting some Sixers teams. So we're going to do not only starting fives, each of us back and forth picking our teams, but we're going to do the bench, one at every position, so a 10-man team for each of us. It's going to be a lot of fun, so that's what we're going to get to in just a couple minutes, so stick around for that. It's going to be great. But, Michael, I do want to get your thoughts quickly on the way the Sixers are currently constructed. Obviously, we know the majority of the key guys are here from last year's team, minus, George Niang and McDaniels. Who else am I forgetting?
Shake.
And Shake Milton.
Moment of silence for Shake Milton. I wish him the best, and I wish him farewell. I don't know if we ever did. Maybe I did. Did I ever do a proper Shake send-off on this podcast?
Yeah, I think.
I hope I did.
I want to say yes. I'm
hoping
we definitely
I did,
talked
or
about
at least you did. I'm hoping one of us did.
So Sixers current roster, real quick: James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, Melton, Patrick Beverley, new addition, Jaden Springer. That's kind of rounds out the guards that we have right now. Tobias Harris, PJ Tucker, Korkmaz, Daniel House Jr., and then centers: Joel Embiid, Paul Reed, Mo Bamba, and the before mentioned Montrezl Harrell. So, do you see some gaps here? What's your thoughts if we were to start the season tomorrow, which we're not? There could be some moves. There could be some major moves. But if the season were to start tomorrow with the roster as is, what are your thoughts on the team?
Overall, I like the team. I don't love this roster. And again, the overarching theme is, the Sixers don't have much, but they didn't have a lot to work with to get more. So they are a little thin at the wing spot, specifically off the bench. I do like Daniel House. He had some decent run end of season, like playoffs as well. He was decent in the playoffs. But they are a little bit thin at wing at the 3-4 spot, which you can sign a guy. I think the Sixers are possibly, or no, they're not. They're not using the disabled player exception for Montrez, right? That's what you said.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. They could use that. I think it's like 2 point something million, which could be pretty helpful. But again, they don't have a ton of anything left. Not that they had anything much to begin with to use. They don't have a ton of anything left to sign to another wing. But I think House will be fine. I think, I don't think that's going to be a major issue because at the end of the day, I honestly forgot the Sixers signed Patrick Beverley. I don't know why. I don't know why, but yeah, I did. Patrick Beverley, D'Anthony Melton, Daniel House, Mo Bamba, Paul Reed is what I think is going to be the bench unit to start the season. So I'm okay with that. Once midseason rolls around, the Sixers can probably pick somebody up for cheap or whatever the case may be. I like the roster. I like it. I don't love it. I think the roster, what it looks like right now, is exactly what it's going to look like on game day. I said this like a month ago.
Yeah.
And I'm still saying it because it's even clearer now than it was then. So, Sixers fans, you're looking at your 2024 Philadelphia 76ers.
Wow. Yeah, and I can back that up. You have been pretty much sticking with that. I mean, even our last episode 3-4 weeks ago, after a hiatus, we're back and we're still the same, and you're still sticking with that. It's going to be the same, and so I agree with what you said. I think that, I personally think that wing scoring, say what you will about George Niang, but regular season George Niang, he was a valuable piece.
He was a flamethrower.
Right, and I'm not saying necessarily we have to go get a George Niang, but someone that can score, even if you get someone that can score more around the rim, just someone that can put the ball in the hoop so that you're not solely relying on Tobias Harris, so much so. Now, Daniel House, say what you will about him. He could step into a bigger role. He did have times where minutes were limited, but if the roster again stays as is, maybe he sees more time and is able to get in a groove. And I guess the same could be said for Furkan. I mean, as is, there's some minutes to be had there at the forward position if this team stays the same, and it's going to be from Korkmaz and House. They'll both get some burn, and just with the way the season goes on, guys sit out games. There's minutes missed. There's games missed. There's a week-long injury. Like, there's going to be times when these guys are going to find the court a lot if the roster stays as is. And we'll see what Nick Nurse does with it. I think there's some things to be excited about when you have a new coach, a new system, and you keep much of the same players, much of the same talent, because you can see, okay, how much of this was on the previous coaching staff and how much can they improve under the new guy in charge in Nick Nurse. So I'm kind of just excited to see that because it's one thing to have a new coach and then also paired with that a whole new cast of players. But this is the same core with the new coach, and so it's interesting to see what improvements are made there. All right, let's just get to it. Let's get to it. So I'll give a couple instructions.
Okay.
And then let the people know what's going on, and then we'll get into it. So this is going to be drafting our individual dream teams, a 10-man roster of Sixers players that are that we have seen play, that we have witnessed during our lifetime. All right, so I might have a small advantage because my lifetime has been a little longer than Michael's, so I don't know if that's going to play a factor into any of this. But I will also say, before someone starts jumping on what our rosters look like, we are drafting players that we like, our favorite players. Now, that's not to say that we're not trying to draft a good team. But if we draft, a personal favorite over someone that might be better, don't jump on us because we've already told you
Talent
that this
is
is how
not
this
the
is
main
going to happen.
objective here.
Right. Do we want a good team? Sure. But, I'm going to draft guys that I want to draft because it's my dream team. It's not yours. So, listeners, please understand. All right? And I can promise you will not see an Al Horford in this draft, among other names. But, yeah, we'll see. So, Michael, how are we going to determine our draft order?
Let's do this. So, I have our trusty coin here. I'm trying to get this in the focus on my phone camera. Quarter.
Let's go.
It's a quarter. It's a... What year is this? It's a 2015 quarter.
Okay.
So we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna flip the coin, and whoever, or you call it in the air.
Okay.
We'll have Troy call it in the air. When I flip it, I'll make sure he can see it. He'll call it in the air, heads or tails, whatever he or how. Wait,
Yeah.
heads.
I'll
You
call
call
it in the air.
heads and or whatever. Yeah, okay. And that will determine draft order. So
All right.
either I'm first or he's first, and then we'll just do like back and forth.
Okay.
10-man rotation, five starting, 5 bench players. Let's do it. I'm gonna flip the coin. Again, it's a quarter. Here we go. Now, preface this: I am not a great coin flipper, so we'll see what happens. All right, ready?
All right. Yep.
All right. Will you be able to see if I flip
I'll
it?
just call right now. I don't need
All
to
right.
see it. I'm calling
All right,
tails
all right.
because that's
Go
what it's
ahead,
going to
go
be.
Okay, ready?
Yep. Tails.
Oh, it's tails. Oh,
Let's
I
go.
dropped it, but I swear it's tails. It was tails.
Okay.
I dropped it, but it was tails. So Troy.
The
Go ahead.
first pick is mine.
Omar.
So
Okay.
I will caveat this a little bit. I do have a guy in mind, but how do I say this without giving it away? I have a guy in mind, but I also think I could save him because I'm not sure you'll go that route.
Okay.
So I'm going to go a different
Okay.
route. All right. And I will say, we are doing obviously based on position, but I think it's fair if we
Yes.
allow a little wiggle room, right? We're not going to put a TJ McConnell in the power forward spot, but if you need to move to a 1 to a 2 guard, that kind of thing, I think we're fine with that. Agreed?
Yes.
All right.
100%.
With that being said, the first pick in the Dream Team draft for Team Troy is Joel Embiid.
No. I don't know why I didn't think you were gonna take him, but I was kind of hoping that you didn't.
All right.
Because
You were
when
on the
you
clock,
said
sir.
when you said you had something in mind, I was like, I wonder if he's not gonna take Embiid.
I still have that person in mind.
Okay, he got
So I'm
me.
not
now,
sure where you're gonna go.
After this, like, I'm very not particular with my favorite members of Sixers past, present, but I do like certain players and I do dislike other certain players. Now, do we want to do a specific time period of how many years they have needed to play for the team or no?
No. I'll say no.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. My first pick, I want to choose one guy, but it's still really sour for me. My first pick is Jimmy Butler.
Okay. Ouch.
I have to choose him. Now that
Okay.
Embiid is gone, I have to choose
You're
him.
taking him at small forward, I guess?
Yes, we'll put him
Okay.
at the 3.
Jimmy Butler at the 3. Okay. Let me cross him off my big board.
Yes, I took one from Troy.
Now, this might be a pick where my age is a factor. What's
Okay.
I'm 26.
Oh wow, I thought you were younger than that.
New.
I just turned 22.
So this is where I have an advantage because I
Okay.
can remember one of the all-time
Okay.
greats. I've watched this man play many games. I've seen him in person
Okay.
play. If you want to try and discredit me, I have seen him in the playoffs. I am
Okay.
taking the one and only Allen Iverson.
Okay. Oh, dude, I don't know why I didn't think of Allen Iverson, but I don't think I was gonna choose him anyway. Wow.
So you would have been very
okay.
young, but I.
And I don't even I never actually saw him play.
Well, there you
like,
go. That's the
Obviously,
rule.
aside from like rewatching games and highlights and stuff, I've never actually seen him play.
Right.
So wow, that's a good pick.
That's
Really
yep.
good pick.
That's the age right there.
Huh. No, but that's okay though. See, like, I'm still. I don't want to choose this guy, but like, he's still been one of the best players to play in a Sixers jersey.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go with James Harden.
James Harden.
I didn't want to pick him, but I still really enjoyed watching Harden during his time here, even though it's kind of ending in a really poor way, if you will.
Right.
But I still like what he did for this team was overall, for the most part, just phenomenal. Like, he a player that the Sixers didn't have maybe ever, or if not ever, then since Jimmy Butler at least. So I still really enjoyed Harden's time here. So I'm just gonna choose James Harden.
James Harden at the 1 or 2?
Yeah, at the 1.
At the 1. All right.
Might as well.
With the 5th overall pick in this draft.
Actually, at the 2. At the 2.
At the 2, James Harden.
Sorry.
At the 2. James was our 4th pick. At the 5th pick of the draft, Team Troy is selecting. With the fate of the universe on the line, the Martians have the death beam pointed at Earth.
Oh my gosh.
I want Iguodala.
Oh my gosh.
Put him at the 3.
Good pick. Good pick. I'm trying to decide with my next pick if I can... I could probably swing around back and get this guy.
Okay.
So I'm not going to take him now. There's a few guys in mind. Oh, wait, I never actually watched him, though. Oh, no. No, I'm changing Harden to the 1 point guard.
Okay.
Did I already say that?
Yep, that's fine.
Okay. With my 3rd pick, I'm taking J.J. Redick.
J.J. Redick.
At the 2. One of my
Good pick.
favorite Sixers. J.J. Redick, like, I wish he signed a 7-year contract here. Honestly, I do. Like,
yeah.
If he didn't want that much money from the Pelicans, he would have came back, and it would have been amazing.
It's a good pick.
JJ's time here was great. So JJ Redick is my 3rd pick. So I have Harden, I have Redick, I have Butler. I'm basically recreating the 2018 Sixers.
With James Harden.
With James Harden.
Wow. Okay. I like it. I have a couple names in mind. So I've got a 1, a 3, and a 5 already.
Okay. I gotta pick a center, man.
You do need a center. There's been a lot of them.
Yeah.
But there's only been one Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
I am going to take... Man, at my... No, at my 2 guard, unless you want. You can swap these in and out. Allen Iverson and this guy, 1 or 2. I'm going to take Drew Holiday.
Ah, see, that's the player I said I technically have never seen him play for the Sixers live.
Okay.
So I couldn't choose him. He was off limits for me.
Yeah.
He was off limits for me. I'm trying to decide if I should choose a center now. But, like, not a lot of good centers since I started watching the Sixers.
I will say, if you want to, round out your bench and then come back to center, that's okay too.
I don't know.
You could do that.
Well, I might do that because, yeah, I might do that.
Right. So you have a 1, a 2, and a 3 right now.
I'm gonna choose. Could I come around and get him off the bench? This I don't know. This might be a reach.
Okay.
But at my 4, I'm going with Robert Covington.
Oh, that was my next pick.
Yes.
That was my next pick.
Yes. So
Very
I wouldn't have been able to get him then.
Correct. I was going there.
Let's go.
Good pick.
Yes.
I was absolutely going there. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
You threw a wrench in my plans here.
Yes.
So I still need a 4 as well.
Okay.
And so if you haven't seen Drew, you probably haven't seen this guy either, but I'm still going to do it.
Okay.
I've got a decent mix. I mean, the majority of my players are older.
Right.
Yeah, I think I'm still gonna do it. Thaddeus Young.
Oh, okay.
He had a very good tenure with the team.
Yes, he did. He did, and he's still a decent player too.
He is. So that's my starting 5 done. Are you gonna round out your 5, or are you going bench? Either way is fine.
To me, it's like I could round out my 5, but there haven't really been there just haven't been many great Sixers centers of the past. How long have I been watching the Sixers? 7 years, 8 years. There haven't been many great Sixers centers. I mean, I don't even know. I'm just gonna choose Boban.
Boban.
I can't think of any other really good Sixers center. I mean, Boban isn't great either. He's not. He's actually not very good at all. but I don't know who else to choose.
The 10th overall pick, Boban.
Oh my gosh.
I love it. Again, folks, favorites. All right. Just because he is Mr. Sixth Man himself.
Good choice.
To start my bench, I'm going Lou Williams.
Good choice. Absolutely.
Yes.
Who would be a better 6-man? Dang. You could easily take one of these guys next pick.
We might be thinking the same.
We probably are. I'm gonna go with I watched him more. I'm gonna go with Dario.
Dario, okay.
Yeah.
Yep. I wasn't going to go there next, but definitely on my radar. Let's say
I was really hoping I could get Dario. I wasn't sure what your thoughts were on him, but I'm
Super
glad
Dario,
I could snag
man.
him. Yeah,
It's a good
absolutely.
pick.
Cool. All right.
Good pick.
go.
All right, with the what are we? 13th pick in the draft. You got Dario and Rocco. Wow, look at that.
Let's go. And Jimmy, the players the player that they were traded for.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. Where do I want to go from here? I am going to select. I can't help it. I have to. I'm gonna select Tyrese Maxey.
Ah, okay.
A bench of Lou Williams and Tyrese Maxey.
Okay. I like that a lot. Wow, there's some really decent Sixers still left that I forgot about. I am stuck between a few guys for my backup 5. One of them I really don't think you're gonna take, but you might. I won't take it yet. So I'm at Dario for my 6-man. Oh my gosh. Seth Curry's my next pick. I forgot about him.
Nice pick.
Seth Curry's my next pick, man.
You got shooters. You got JJ and then Seth backing him up.
Let's go.
That's legendary right there. All right. I'm debating between a couple here. Another blast from the past, or someone a little more recent.
Okay.
So I have a 1 and a 2. I still feel like I need shooting.
Okay.
So I am going to take Kyle Korver.
Dude, I was hoping I could swing around and get him, but that's a good pick. That's a very good pick.
So I'm putting him at 3.
Very good pick. All right.
So on your bench right now, you have Seth and Dario.
Okay. I have a few that I'm looking at. I want somebody, but he's probably going to get bumped out. Just because. All right. So, if Dario's my 6-man, Seth Curry. I think I'm going to go with Tony Roten.
Tony Roten, nice.
Yeah.
He's on my list.
Nice, okay. Just stealing players from Troy.
Yep.
There's my last 2.
I wasn't going to take him,
no
but he's on the
way.
list.
Huh?
He's on the list, but I wasn't going to take him.
Okay. There's
say
no
that.
way you get these two players that I want next. There's just no way you
All
do.
right, so I need a 4 and a 5.
Yes.
You're okay with a 3 playing a 4, right? That's
Yeah.
all right. That's fair.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to do it, though. I might get some flack for it, though it is my favorites. It has nothing to do with the fans,
Okay.
man.
Fans
So I
don't matter
think I
right now.
still
This is
might.
just your team.
This is me. This is my
Yes.
team. And he's a personal favorite of mine, so I'm going to do it. I am going to take Matisse Thybulle.
Oh my gosh. I mean, wait, you know what? No. It's your team.
Thank you.
It's your team.
Thank you.
It's okay. It's your team.
Thank you.
I take it back.
Respect.
It's your team. I was not going to take him.
I didn't think so.
If you didn't take him, he was going to sit on the board forever. All right. I have 2 picks left
Okay.
because I'm still. You're still fluctuating between choosing talent and favorite. So
Yeah.
my backup center is going to be Andre Drummond.
Okay. Truth in advertising. I was not going, but I was close. So all I need
Really?
is center, right? And it was between him and the guy I am going to pick. So that was close.
No way.
But to round out my bench, the final pick for my team is going to be a backup center, and that's going to be Rashawn Holmes.
Oh my god. I forgot he played for the Sixers. That is a great pick.
Thank you.
Wow, that's a great pick.
Thank
That's
you.
a
All
great
right.
pick.
You to round out need a I guess a forward or a 2.
Let's
You
do
got
this.
Tony Roten, Seth Curry. You're looking for a 3.
Folks at home, I want you to guess right now and see if you can guess who I'm going to pick. Troy,
I'm gonna try and guess.
let me
Okay.
think of a player. Keep it in your head, and when I pick, you tell me if you got it, who it was. Okay.
Yeah, I have one.
Okay, folks at home, my final pick of the draft. Let me know who you think I'm going to choose. I need a shooting guard / small forward. Let me know who I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick in 3, 2, 1. My final pick of this draft is Furkan Korkmaz.
Oh, nice. That's not where I was going.
Okay, who did you think it was going to be?
My guess. I didn't really think it was gonna be, but my guess it was Marco Bellinelli.
Oh, it's funny because I looked at him. I was thinking, like,
Okay.
I could maybe take him, but I had to include a meme pick, so
You had
Furkan is my
Is
choice.
very you.
yes.
Very you. I like that. All right. So to round out the rosters, let's read them, and then we can make some honorable mention
Okay,
names.
okay.
You guys who didn't make the
Yeah.
draft just for fun. But let's go. Team Michael. You got James. This is your starting lineup. You got James Harden, J.J. Redick, Jimmy Butler, Robert Covington, first team all defense, and Boban Marjanovic.
Yes.
Backup point guard Tony Roten, Seth Curry, Furkan Korkmaz, Dario Saric, and Andre Drummond.
Go. Actually,
Your
I may
10.
move Drummond to the. I may switch Boban and Andre Drummond, to be honest.
True.
Just
true.
to maximize the talent at my starting lineup.
Right. Right. I like that. And then Team Troy, we got Allen Iverson, Drew Holiday, Andre Iguodala, Thaddeus Young,
Okay.
Joel Embiid, Lou Williams, Tyrese Maxey, Kyle. My bench is very small. Kyle Korver, Matisse Thybulle, and Rashawn Holmes.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay. That
I
was
like
fun.
it. Those are absolutely some of my favorite Sixers.
Yes.
You only took a couple. I'm trying to as far as favorite
Yeah.
players on your team, forget talent. I guess I'd have to go with James Harden.
Okay.
As far as jealous that they're on your
Mhm.
team. How about you on mine? Is it
Definitely
Joel?
Joel.
Right.
And Tyrese, because I don't know why I didn't think to even look at Tyrese. I didn't even think of him. I don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes, that's what happened to me. A couple, you get so
Yeah.
far back, and then you're like, wait a minute,
Right.
what about who's on the team a month ago or still? So, some honorable mentions. I think you got to go T.J. McConnell
Yes.
to throw a name out there. Marco Bellinelli, we
Definitely.
mentioned him. Shake, maybe. What else
Yep,
you got as
Paul
honorable
Reed.
mentions? Paul Reed out the mud.
You said
For
You said
sure.
Marco Bellinelli. Him. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
I looked at.
I
Marco
was also
Bellinelli. I was thinking I was going to
old.
pick him.
I was also thinking Samuel
Oh
Dallenberg.
my gosh.
Way back when.
Now, does Danny Granger count because didn't he get traded here, or he signed here, but he never played a game? I forget what happened. I just remember seeing that.
That rings a bell. I would say no.
No.
He didn't play.
He didn't play.
No.
He didn't play for the team, but he
Right.
like there was something where he was briefly a member of the Sixers.
Right. Well, that's like drafting Mikal Bridges.
right. No, that's true. That's true.
That's funny. That's funny. I was looking. So I did. I mean, not homework, but I looked, and what I was trying to figure out. Okay, how do I figure out like some names that I just don't remember?
Right.
So like I just went through the stat leaders every year over the last 15. And I saw some names. Like some of the years, obviously, they were very poverty franchise for some of those years. And, you see Evan Turner.
I thought about taking him.
One of the years that we were really bad, I think Elton Brand was the leading scorer. Think
Oh my
about that. He played
gosh.
like 80 games.
He's still ruining
there
this
were some-
franchise to this day.
There were some names.
Yeah.
Andre Miller, led the team in scoring, I think, one year after
Jeez.
Iverson left. There were some issues. There were some down times. But I like it. This was fun.
Definitely.
This was fun. I'm trying to think of some other gems. Chris Webber, way back when.
Yeah, I don't think I actually ever watched him.
I'm just glad I didn't have to pick Danny
Jared
Green.
Bayless.
I would have if I had to.
Oh,
Jared
Danny
Bayless.
Green! I wish I took him. I wish I thought of him, man. No.
Jared Bayless.
Jared
He was the
Bayless.
one that I thought would have been hilarious to pick. Oh my gosh.
Michael Carter Williams.
What was that? Yeah, what was that other point guard's name with the beard from somewhere in Europe? Rodriguez.
Sergio Rodriguez.
Sergio.
Oh my
Sergio
gosh.
Rodriguez.
That was a time.
That's a classic. Oh my god.
He was
That's
like
funny.
decent.
All right, folks. He
was decent.
I had a feeling one of us was going to go Tony Roden.
You had him on yours too?
He sure did. Yeah.
I had to take him.
Legend. And then Ish Smith, I kind of wanted to do that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. If we would have been drafting like 15-man teams,
Yes.
some of these guys would have been on our rosters. That's for sure. Anyway, that concludes whatever we want to call this, the Dream Team Draft of 2023
Oh.
off season in August. That's what this is peak off season. Off season material here on Planet 76. So hope you enjoyed. And we will see you next time for episode 103 as we inch ever so closely to the start of the 2023-2024 season. This is Planet 76, and we'll see you next time. If you are a Philadelphia 76ers fan, this is the podcast for you. Planet 76, a weekly podcast covering all things Philadelphia 76ers. We'll see you next time.